What is up, beautiful people? DH here. It's been such a long time. I feel like that's my line going into everything because I don't necessarily plan and schedule when I'm going to do a video. I just kind of allow it to come to me. And this past weekend was Thanksgiving, and it was my second Thanksgiving back in the US, back in Texas. And I guess as I've aged in my earthly journey here, is I've started to understand what gratitude is a lot more. I knew what the definition was, but to really embody it and experience it and feel it takes on a whole new level. And I feel like you can call it whether it's maturity, awareness, consciousness, expansion, really wherever you're at on the vocabulary wheel with regards to spirituality or consciousness or any of it. So with that being said, I'm starting to feel this a lot more, and I really find myself in contemplation a lot with sitting and evaluating my life and my presence. And so having gratitude for the past, and yet also being able to have gratitude for all of the things that are contributing to where I am in this present moment, like how I'm feeling in this present moment. Also gratitude for self-awareness. Awareness is the first step in most of the ways, most of the I wouldn't say methods, but the steps that I teach people, and really how to find themselves through transformation is awareness is the first step, right? Like, we can become aware of something, but then it's the acceptance of it. It's like, do we accept what we became aware of? Whether that's the circumstances we're in, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, and then do we accept it, right? And so that as this precursor of awareness comes, that light bulb goes off, and we can choose consciously or unconsciously whether we want to receive that or whether we don't. And sometimes that's where the resentment and the regret and the guilt and the shame, the lower vibrational frequencies happen, because we don't accept it. And so once we have acceptance, we move forward into the direct path, or the direction of our highest and greatest good, which is our purpose of coming here on earth. And sometimes we feel like we have to go on a quest to find it, like it's in our head, like we're going to find our purpose. But when we surrender, which is also, acceptance, then we find that it's coming to us naturally. And how is that reflective in our human? How we feel. And so I'm sitting on this swing this weekend, and just reflecting on all of it and having gratitude for all of the experiences, not high, not low, not good, not bad, but just all of the experiences. And so my message is just allow yourselves the time to have this reflection where you're not looking for the response. You're not looking for the answer. You're just allowing the breath to come through you. And then you're smiling and you're celebrating the journey, because the journey is what it's all about. Many times we talk about like releasing the outcome. Don't be so attached to the outcome. For me, I work with like small kids now, and we talk about like, I coach kids soccer, and we talk about like the impact of winning and losing. And, I start to see, even at a young age of 5 years old, they start to get really impacted by losing or not scoring. And at that age, it should be all about the fun, right? And the results will follow. But yet also giving the opportunity to teach that winning and losing should really not yield much of a difference in result from our energy and how we show up and how we respond. And so I hope all of us can celebrate gratitude for our journey up to this point. Celebrate all the people, places, and things that have contributed to us being where we are at. And then coming into our presence, coming into celebrating right here and right now that we've made it. We've made it in some ways. We've made it to the point where we can create change. We can create the life that we really desire. And it takes the awareness and it takes the acceptance that will then lead to your authenticity, which is one of the trainings that I do. Is after you accept, then it's, okay, how do I continue to surrender and accept who I am and become more and more authentic, which we are the only version of us in all of existence right now. We are the only version of us. So why is it so difficult to be that? Because we can constantly compare ourselves to the outside world, how it's been done before us, and we at times become lost in finding our truth and finding ourself and living in that with peace and confidence and sovereignty, because we feel the pressure, self-perceived in some ways, of the outside world. It could be from our family's influence. It could be from society's influence. So once we reach that point of authenticity, we can become more fearless, which is, I believe, the catapult or the catalyst or the multiplier or activator, or like hitting the NOS like in Fast and Furious, and it's like sends us into like a much more condensed timeline on finding our true purpose, which is reflected on how we feel, which many times can be reflected on all of the things that come into our field with regards to abundance, affluence, freedom. And so here we are. It's the actions that then follow those steps that can help us validate our course, validate our purpose, validate that we are truly in our lane, in our path. And what that does is it inspires other people. And so as I sit and reflect on my path and my journey, I'm just celebrating all of the people and places and things that have contributed to getting me where I'm at right now. And I think many times I can look back and be like, I'm not happy, or I'm not in the place I want to be, or my circumstances are challenging. These are all human tendencies, and these are all fine, so long as that we become aware and accept them, and then use those towards inspiration of moving forward. And just celebrating life in general. Sometimes it's the simplest things that we need to have gratitude for that we just forget. We think that we need to have some big explosive form of gratitude. It always has to be towards a person or, our family, but sometimes it's the little things that we become. If we can really tune into our awareness of, if we're writing, just having gratitude for the pen and just sending that energy, that love frequency, that gratitude energy to the pen, to the paper, to our vehicle, not to our vehicle from getting us today from where we were to where we wanted to go. And these are just some things of awareness that I've come into this weekend with the energy of Thanksgiving, energy of family. What I really missed about being away in Costa Rica was family. What I did get in Costa Rica was a new form of family. It was people from different parts of the world that I had not known, that I became friendly with. And friendship kind of yields into family as you become a little bit more conscious. And because you start creating your life, you start choosing it. And many times in our early upbringings and our early chapters of our journey here in life on earth, we allow our family to be the strongest influence in our lives. And sometimes that's just, and rightfully so. But at times when we get to a certain point of our journey of whether it be ascension or whether it be our freedom, we're less influenced by other people's opinions and perspectives in guiding us on ours. Those can be catalysts and perspectives and points and the sharing of energies, but they're not going to replace where ours is. Sometimes they can just add elements to it, course correct. Those are kind of trusted advisors and spiritual guides and spiritual partners. But sometimes our earthly families, have so much power over our sovereignty and independence, and then they shouldn't. They shouldn't. They are merely there to support your spiritual growth, and sometimes that's in behaving in a way that you wouldn't prefer or wouldn't desire. And sometimes we cause resentment towards our families, our parents, our siblings, our spouses, our ex-spouses, because we have an expectation, and then we layer that energy on with projection onto them, versus taking responsibility and ownership and really trusting that we create our reality. And it's truly been a journey, and I'm blessed to be here. And if anybody has children that's listening to this, I know that you feel the heart connection with your children. I know that you feel that love, and sometimes you may not express it in the way that you want to. This is your moment where you can just let go of that and just start expressing that love and gratitude for these little earthly beings that chose you to be their parents. It's time to just surrender that and to come into your power and show them your vulnerability. Show them who you really, really, really are, because that's all they really care about. They just want to see your truth. As we want them to show their truth, let's show them our truth. That's the best form of guiding them, is to really stand in your power and stand in your senses and stand in who you are, and love yourself for it. Love yourself for it. And I was talking to a friend about this. Actually, I was talking to my girlfriend too. It's kind of come up in random conversations ever since I started not cutting my hair. It's not that I'm growing my hair. It's just, I just stopped cutting it. And what I've noticed in that process is I spend a lot less time looking at myself on what I look like and caring what I look like. It doesn't mean I don't love myself and don't feel that I look good in that sense, but I feel good. I feel in alignment. I feel perfectly fine. I don't feel the fear of being judged by other people based on what I look like. And many times, you can see in the spiritual communities, or what people that like are growing spiritually, or they grow their hair, they don't cut their hair as much. And I think it's just a sign of personal freedom. I think it's a sign of personal strength and a little bit of not giving a, you know what, especially for a man to grow his hair long, where our grandfathers and fathers and them, they don't really agree with men with long hair. It's got a stigma. And so, and how that can translate to women is with regards to with dyeing your hair and highlighting your hair and doing all those different fancy things every couple of weeks so it looks a certain way. If it vibrationally feels a way, then that's different. But if it's just to keep up with not having gray hair and what you look like on the outside in the material world, that will start to fade as you become more conscious and you become a little bit more into your natural God-created space. So all in all, be grateful for what you have on this earthly journey. Be open to receiving. And what I'm learning more than anything is be free in your expression. Be free in sharing your gifts with everybody and anything around you. Do not be afraid. The way that I believe our fastest path to our highest and greatest good, our most fulfilled life, enlightenment, ascension, elevation, expansion, freedom, is just by standing in our power and expressing ourselves fully and doing it with joy and fearlessness, and allow the shells of fear and doubt to just crumble off of you. And that feels good. What's cool about that, your mind doesn't have to create that or write that out. Your earthly journey, with all the layers of experiences interwoven throughout the entire thing, is going to unveil that. It's going to uncover that. It's going to be the book of our life. And there's so many lessons all within it. So we can't do this wrong. We just can't do it wrong. We just have to trust. We have to trust and have gratitude for the journey. Have gratitude for the journey. So many blessings on this video. I hope it reaches you where you are and maybe provides some level of perspective that allows you to continue to express yourself fully, to own your truth and your journey, and create freely. Tune into the creativity within you, which is another path in finding your true alignment and your true awareness. So much love to y'all. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday, happy end of year, happy contemplation, happy new beginnings, happy endings, happy death and rebirth, happy awareness and authenticity and actions, and tune into the happiness within you and just allow it to shine like the sun shines. All right, much blessings, peace.